The opening 90 minutes almost had the whole football world fooled. Brazil were held to a frustrating 1-1 draw against Morocco.
Sifting it through here for Saibari!
As the final whistle echoed around MetLife Stadium, millions of Brazilian fans walked away with the same uneasy feeling.
It's Brazil 1, Morocco 1.
Maybe this squad wasn't ready yet. Maybe the painful memories of past World Cups were still hanging over them. Maybe this simply wasn't the Brazil that could lift football's biggest prize. For a country where anything less than a championship feels like disappointment, taking just 1 point sounded alarm bells. Social media lit up instantly. Critics wasted no time.
But for them, they've taken that point. There's that bit of magic from Vinicius Jr. Yeah, that's great. But I think in some ways, for me personally, as the game wore on, it became a little bit disappointing. I think as Craig's kind of alluded to there, I almost felt like the two were happy to take a draw, knowing that there perhaps going to be some easier games ahead.
Yeah, let's remind you, hey.
Questions were flying everywhere. Was the midfield good enough? Was the attack missing something? And could Carlo Ancelotti really turn everything around in only a matter of weeks? That's where Ancelotti showed why he's built one of the greatest coaching careers in football history. Elite managers don't panic when things go wrong. They study every detail, adjust their plan, and make the changes that matter most. Across decades of success, he has shown one simple lesson again and again. Football isn't won by refusing to change. It's won by understanding the players in front of you. This is the coach who has conquered Europe 5 times. The only manager ever to win league titles in Italy, England, France, Germany, and Spain. More than 30 major trophies speak for themselves. Time after time, he has managed dressing rooms packed with Ballon d'Or winners, Champions League stars, and world-famous players. Yet, instead of leading through fear, he earned trust. He understood something many coaches never fully grasp. Every player is different, and every squad has its own personality. For Ancelotti, tactics should fit the players, not force players into uncomfortable roles. That's what separates legendary managers from everyone else. After the Morocco draw, there were no public complaints, no excuses, no blame. While everyone else argued, Ancelotti quietly got back to work. He spent countless hours reviewing footage, holding tactical meetings, and breaking down every weakness. One conclusion quickly became impossible to ignore. Brazil weren't playing like Brazil. The 4-2-3-1 system had disconnected the midfield. Casemiro and Bruno Guimaraes were spending too much time covering defensively instead of controlling the tempo. Up front, the attack looked isolated. The movement became too easy to predict. The talent was there, but the balance simply wasn't. That's when Ancelotti made what many now see as the turning point of the tournament. He scrapped the 4-2-3-1 and brought in his trusted 4-3-3 system. It sounded like a small tactical switch, but it completely reshaped the identity of the Seleção. Casemiro settled into the role of lone defensive anchor. Bruno Guimaraes suddenly had the freedom to push forward. Lucas Paquetá found more space to create danger between the lines. The midfield looked alive again, but Ancelotti still wasn't done. His next move surprised plenty of people. Igor Thiago dropped out while Matheus Cunha came into the starting lineup. Throughout much of the 2025-26 club season, Cunha had often played in deeper attacking roles, instead of operating as a traditional number 9. Coaches like Amorim and Michael Carrick regularly used him between midfield and attack, but saw something others didn't. He saw constant movement, sharp instincts, unpredictable runs, and a forward who attacked every opportunity instead of waiting for it. Sometimes football isn't about picking the biggest name. It's about picking the player who fits the plan, and Ancelotti got that call exactly right. The impact was instant. Brazil arrived in Philadelphia looking like an entirely different side. It wasn't just the tactics that had changed. The confidence was back, every pass had purpose, every run looked coordinated, every player worked with energy on and off the ball. Even before the opening goal, Brazil looked dangerous. Rafinha thought he had scored after Bruno Guimaraes unlocked Haiti's defense with a brilliant scooped pass, but the offside flag stopped the celebration. That moment only delayed what was coming. Midway through the first half, Vinicius Jr. charged down the left wing and unleashed a powerful effort that forced Johnny Duplessis into a difficult save. The rebound dropped perfectly for Matheus Cunha. One touch, one finish, one goal. Exactly the kind of sharp striker's instinct Brazil had been searching for. And Cunha wasn't finished. Soon after, Vinicius Jr. slipped another perfectly weighted pass behind Haiti's backline. Cunha burst into open space, stayed composed, glanced at the goalkeeper, and smashed the ball into the roof of the net. 2-0, the game had completely swung Brazil's way. In less than one half, Ancelotti's bold decision was already paying off in spectacular fashion. Then came the moment that truly signaled Brazil's revival. Vinicius Jr., so often expected to deliver on the biggest stage, finally looked completely comfortable in the national team. Timing his run perfectly, he raced behind Haiti's defense and calmly finished Brazil's third goal before halftime. No hesitation, no panic, just pure confidence. That was exactly what Brazilian fans had been waiting to see for so long. The second half became a showcase of control rather than chaos. Casemiro shielded the defense with experience and composure. Gabriel dominated in the air. Marquinhos organized the backline brilliantly. Alisson stepped up with another outstanding save whenever he was called into action. Endrick even thought he had scored another goal before an offside decision ruled it out, but by then it hardly mattered. Brazil had rediscovered their rhythm. A convincing 3-0 victory delivered their first clean sheet and their most complete performance of the competition. More importantly, it showed that Ancelotti's tactical ideas were quickly coming together. But another challenge was waiting. Scotland would provide a completely different test. Scotland entered the match desperate for a result, while Brazil wanted to prove the Haiti performance wasn't just a one-game spark. They wasted no time making a statement. After only 7 minutes, a careless Scottish pass was intercepted brilliantly by Rayon. The youngster reacted instantly, releasing Vinicius Jr. with perfect timing. One touch around the goalkeeper, one simple finish into an empty net. 1-0. Clinical, calm, and ruthless. From that point on, Brazil controlled everything. Every attack looked dangerous. Every transition happened with precision. Every player seemed to know exactly where to move. Just before halftime, Bruno Guimarães floated a brilliant cross toward the far post. Waiting there was Vinicius Jr., who finished confidently once again. His second goal of the night and his fourth of the tournament sent another powerful message. The doubts that had once followed Vinicius in a Brazil shirt were fading fast. Scotland tried to fight back after the break. Scott McTominay finally tested Alisson, but the Brazilian goalkeeper produced another composed stop that reminded everyone why he remains one of football's elite keepers. Then, Brazil struck one more time. Matheus Cunha collected the ball, rounded Angus Gunn with confidence, and calmly finished to seal another memorable victory. 3 goals in the tournament, all coming from just 2 starts, turned him into one of the biggest success stories of the competition. By the time Neymar returned to the pitch for his first international appearance in 3 years, the result was already beyond any real doubt. Brazil had done it again. Another commanding 3-0 victory. 2 straight wins, 6 goals scored, 0 conceded, and top spot in the group. But the biggest success wasn't written on the scoreboard. It was written in the way this team played. For the first time in years, Brazil no longer looked like 11 gifted individuals trying to win matches on talent alone. They looked united, organized, and fully connected. That's exactly the kind of Brazil that makes every rival nervous. Because history has shown that when Brazil's incredible talent is combined with Carlo Ancelotti's tactical brilliance, very few teams find a way to stop them. Of course, Ancelotti deserves huge credit for rebuilding the squad, but the players deserve just as much praise for bringing his ideas to life. And no one represents that transformation better than Vinicius Jr. For years, Vinicius lived with one frustrating contradiction. At club level, he looked almost unstoppable. Week after week, he embarrassed some of Europe's best defenders. He helped Real Madrid win Champions League trophies, La Liga titles, and countless huge matches. Yet every time he pulled on Brazil's famous yellow shirt, something seemed to change. The freedom disappeared. The confidence wasn't quite the same. Instead of playing naturally, he often looked like someone carrying the hopes of an entire football nation on his shoulders. Brazilian fans kept asking the same question. Why can't we see the Real Madrid version of Vinicius? Now the answer seems much clearer. He simply needed the coach who understood exactly how to get the best out of him. Nobody knows Vinicius better than Carlo Ancelotti. During 4 unforgettable years together at Real Madrid, Ancelotti never tried to turn him into a different player. Instead, he built a system around his greatest strengths. Stay wide, attack defenders one-on-one, sprint into open space, trust your speed, trust your creativity, trust yourself. Now, Brazil are following that exact blueprint, and the results have been incredible. Against Morocco, Vinicius rescued Brazil with a crucial equalizer. Against Haiti, he delivered a goal and an assist, while causing constant problems for the defense from the opening whistle. Then against Scotland, he struck twice again. 4 goals and 1 assist in only 3 matches is impressive on its own, but the numbers don't tell the whole story. For the first time in years, Brazil's attack feels perfectly built around Vinicius without depending entirely on him. His teammates understand exactly how dangerous he becomes when isolated against a single defender. Every sprint forces defenders to retreat. Every dribble creates panic. Every run opens space for someone else. He isn't simply Brazil's biggest attacking threat anymore. He's becoming the heartbeat of this entire World Cup journey. The biggest change may not even be tactical. It might be mental. After the Haiti victory, Vinicius said, "I'm at my best, physically, technically, and mentally." Those words match exactly what everyone is seeing on the pitch. The hesitation is gone. The smile is back. Instead of trying to silence critics every match, he now looks like a player ready to take over football's biggest stage. Then there's Matheus Cunha, one of the tournament's biggest surprises. Every World Cup creates an unexpected hero, someone who begins quietly before suddenly becoming impossible to ignore. Cunha may be that player this time. After starting on the bench against Morocco, few expected him to completely transform Brazil's attack. But Ancelotti believed in him, and Cunha rewarded that trust immediately. 3 goals from just 2 starts tell only part of the story. Every finish has shown composure. Every run has created problems. Every movement has made Brazil's attack more dangerous. His game isn't based on strength alone. It's built on smart movement, sharp instincts, relentless pressing, and finding space where defenders least expect him. He drifts into deeper areas, links midfield with attack, and then suddenly appears inside the penalty box exactly when it matters most. That unpredictability has become a nightmare for opposing defenses. Who do defenders follow? Vinicius pulling defenders wide, Rafinha attacking from the opposite side, Paquetá arriving late into space, Bruno Guimaraes pulling the strings, Cunha suddenly appearing in the perfect position? That's no accident. That's outstanding coaching. Speaking of Bruno Guimaraes, he might quietly be Brazil's most valuable player. Goal scorers usually grab the headlines, but every great team needs someone who controls the rhythm of the game. Someone who knows exactly when to speed things up and when to slow everything down. That's Bruno. With 3 assists in 3 matches, he has become one of the tournament's most influential creators. Against Scotland alone, he produced 2 assists, becoming the first Brazilian since Kaká to achieve that feat at a World Cup. But even those numbers don't fully capture his influence. His vision, passing range, awareness, and decision-making keep Brazil flowing from start to finish. So many dangerous attacks begin with his first pass. Alongside him, Lucas Paquetá provides the balance every championship team needs. He presses relentlessly, wins possession back, covers huge areas of the pitch, and still finds the energy to join attacks at the perfect moment. His assist against Haiti highlighted his quality, but much of his best work often goes unnoticed by casual fans. Players like Paquetá don't always dominate highlight reels, but managers understand exactly how valuable they are. Then there's Casemiro. At 34 years old, plenty of people questioned whether his best football was behind him after some difficult seasons. But experienced leaders don't disappear so easily. They answer the doubts on the pitch. Ancelotti's tactical adjustment completely revitalized Casemiro. No longer caught between multiple responsibilities, he became Brazil's lone defensive shield once again. Breaking up attacks, winning challenges, protecting the back four, giving everyone ahead of him the confidence to attack without constantly looking over their shoulders. Sometimes experience doesn't slow a team down. Sometimes it becomes the foundation that holds everything together. Behind him, Gabriel and Marquinhos have quietly developed into one of the strongest defensive partnerships in the tournament. Gabriel brings strength, aggression, and dominance in the air. Marquinhos brings calm leadership, organization, and experience. Together, they provide the security that allows Brazil's attackers to play with complete freedom. Gabriel has impressed with strong tackles, commanding aerial duels, and progressive passes that launch attacks almost instantly. Marquinhos keeps the entire defensive line organized, directing teammates through every press, every offside trap, and every difficult defensive situation. His leadership can be seen throughout every match. And if anything slips through, Brazil still have one final line of defense. Alisson Becker. Goalkeepers rarely receive attention unless something goes wrong, but Brazil know just how important Alisson has been. Against Morocco, his key saves kept the team alive. Against Haiti, he protected the clean sheet with a brilliant reaction stop. Against Scotland, he denied Scott McTominay at a crucial moment when the match threatened to become more competitive. The greatest goalkeepers don't need to make impossible saves every few minutes. They produce the one save that completely changes the game. Now look across this entire squad. Neymar has returned after years away from international action, no longer carrying every expectation by himself, but adding valuable experience whenever called upon. Endrick continues developing with remarkable confidence despite his young age. Ryan has announced himself on the biggest stage with fearless performances and growing belief. Suddenly, Brazil aren't relying on one superstar. They're becoming a complete team filled with confidence, depth, and players who all understand their role. Martinelli, Rafinha, Igor Thiago. Every substitution keeps Brazil playing at full speed. No matter who steps onto the pitch, the intensity never drops. Every player understands their job. Every movement has purpose, and every piece fits into Ancelotti's bigger plan. For the first time in years, Brazil aren't depending on one superstar to carry them. They're winning as one united football family, and that might be the most dangerous weapon of all. The teams that usually lift the World Cup aren't always the ones with the biggest names. They're the ones that trust each other the most. France know it. Spain know it. Argentina proved it 4 years ago. Now Brazil are starting to look like that kind of team. A squad willing to fight together, defend together, celebrate together, and chase every single ball together. That's the kind of connection that wins championships. The group stage is finished. 7 points, top of Group C, 6 goals scored. Just 1 goal conceded. 2 straight clean sheets. Confidence is growing with every match and belief is spreading throughout the squad. But now the real challenge begins. The knockout rounds don't give anyone a second chance. One mistake, one missed opportunity, one defensive lapse. That's all it takes for 4 years of hard work to disappear. Every opponent from here will be stronger. Every stadium will be louder. Every tackle, every pass, and every decision will carry enormous pressure. Even with those challenges ahead, this Brazil team feels different. Not because they're unbeatable, not because victory is guaranteed, but because they finally have everything that great champions need. A clear identity, a world-class manager, players performing with confidence, a squad that believes in itself more after every win. Maybe that's what should worry the rest of the football world the most. This isn't the Brazil of recent disappointments. This is a fresh generation, guided by one of the greatest managers the game has ever seen. And if Carlo Ancelotti continues getting the very best out of this incredible squad, the road to the World Cup trophy could once again lead through Brazil. When Brazilian flair meets tactical brilliance, football history has a funny way of repeating itself. That long-awaited sixth star no longer feels like a distant dream. It's starting to look like a genuine possibility. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Brazil's incredible rise, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Malik on Football, share it with your fellow football fans, and drop your prediction in the comments. Can Brazil win their 6th World Cup? I'd love to hear what you think. Until the next match, the next big story, and the next chapter in the beautiful game, keep your passion alive, and I'll see you back here on Malik on Football. Until next time, enjoy the football.